Hi guys, I wanted to go over the best way to find your research article. Now, you and your team have probably already written a preliminary thesis statement, so you have a good idea of what you're looking for. You're going to use that thesis statement to narrow down your search for your research article. Now, before we jump into the library and see how to find an article, let's find what we're looking for. We are looking for an article that is recent. So when we go to the library, we're going to look just within the last 5 years. Any further back than that, we consider that information outdated. Newer publications are generally going to be more relevant to what we're researching, and also they tend to have corrections from previous discoveries. It should be a primary research article. It has to be a primary research article or I will not accept it. Now, this assignment, Find Your Article, has unlimited attempts. Notice right here it says unlimited, meaning if you turn an article into me and I don't like it or it's not appropriate for your research paper or for any reason, you can resubmit this assignment as many times as necessary so that we can improve and find you a really good article. So it does need to be a primary research article. That means that the scientist who wrote the article was the one who actually did the experiment and gathered the data. When we go into the library, I will show you several ways to tell whether it's a primary article or not. There are some filters that we will use to prevent secondary articles from getting into our search, but then when we look at the article, we need to make sure that it has a very detailed methods section and that it usually is going to have more than one author because multiple authors usually work on these experiments. So we're going to be looking for those two things, more than one author and a very detailed methods section. Also, if it says review paper, it is a secondary article. It is not a primary article. While those review papers are usually a really good place to start, they're not going to be accepted for this assignment. So we're only looking for primary. Also, once we do find an article, we need to download the original PDF of that article. And if you're going through the library to find your article, that should not be a problem. We will make sure that any article that we find has the PDF available because I do not accept any links or HTML or anything other than PDF. It has to be a PDF. The reason is that I want to look at that article and make sure that your analysis of the article is correct, that your information that you're pulling from that article is correct, and that your article is primary. So that PDF really helps me guide you and make sure that you're making good decisions. Also, we want it to be relevant to our topic. So this part you really need to get with your teams and write that thesis statement so that you know what you're looking for. I'm going to be looking for neuroscience and sleep because that's my favorite one. That's the one I like to look at. Very specific intersecting topics are better than individual broad topics. So for instance, if I searched just neuroscience, that field is so broad that I probably would have a hard time finding an article that I really like, as opposed to comparing neuroscience with sleep. The article also needs to be easily understood, and we will talk about how to analyze the article in the next section. You can watch this video to learn about how to analyze the article. Essentially, you're going to look at who wrote the article, what it was about, why they wrote it, what was their inspiration, their methods or how they conducted the research, and the APA citation. Again, when we go to the library, I'll show you how to find the APA citation, but if you would like more information on APA citations, you can go to this website. This here is an example of the APA citation. So first, let's go find our article. We're going to go to the Gates Memorial Library and we're going to search our thesis topic. So neurobiology and sleep, that's my favorite one. Now we can enter in some settings here, but we're going to have to enter more once we get in. So let's just go ahead and put search for the keyword search, and we're searching inside of the library system. Once we get in here, notice that I have like almost 10,000 articles. That's way too many, and I'm not going to be able to read all of them or really even give any of them a good once over. So we're going to make sure that the full text is always available. We don't want to find our perfect article and it not be available to us to download. So full text. Always click peer reviewed. This is one of the ways that we tell that a research paper is primary, is it has to be peer reviewed. I prefer at my library because interlibrary loan takes time. Most of these files are going to be digital, so they're all going to be available anyways. The other important one is the date range. If you remember earlier, we said we don't want anything past 5 years old, so we're going to click 5 years old. We're not going to do content provider, but we do need to make sure that the source is from an academic journal because magazines are editorials, books are secondary articles. None of these are appropriate except for academic journals. Okay. I'm going to press apply and we should see these results narrow down a little bit. Now I only have 1,000. That's much more manageable. And I'm going to give some of these a little once over. Reading their title and their brief abstract, I can kind of decide, does this have something to do with my thesis statement? Or does it not necessarily support my thesis statement? We want to make sure that each team member finds one article that supports the thesis statement. Even if it contradicts the thesis statement, as long as it supports your paper. So we need to be able to find at least 4 of these, but you yourself are only responsible for 1. So you will be finding 1 article and each of your teammates will find 1 article. Altogether, your paper will be based on those 4 articles. Each article is going to roll into a body paragraph of your paper. So it's very important to choose something of high value. This one says identifying neurobiological markers in OCD. That doesn't necessarily have to do with neurobiology and sleep. Impact of traumatic brain injury on sleep. That sounds really perfect, but it says overview or review. That means it's not a primary research article. And I can also look down here and see that it only has 3 authors, just like this one only has 2 authors. So it's probably not a primary research article, whereas this one has 14 plus researchers. This is definitely a primary research article. This is also, let's keep going. This is an editorial. We do not want an editorial. This one only has 2 authors. This one only has 1 author. So probably not appropriate for our purposes. This one has quite a few authors. It says sleep-dependent memory consolidation. Okay, consolidation. Let's go ahead and click on this one and see if it's appropriate. Based on the title, it looks like it's related to my thesis statement. So let's click on it and see if it's going to work out for us. This page right here is just the abstract. This is not the page that I want. Do not send this to me. It will get rejected. What you need to do is make sure that you are finding the original PDF. So if you just click this button right here, it's going to download this page, and I don't want that. We're going to go to Access, Full Text. This will bring us to a new page where we can find the full text. So we're going to check the publisher's website. And the reason why it's important to go through these links, start out in Blackboard, go to Memorial Gates, go to this one, is because if you follow these links, you will stay logged into a free account. Whereas if I went directly to this website by itself, I probably would be locked out and not be able to see the free version. I'm just going to kind of give this a once over and see if I see anything that says free or full. Here I see the abstract. That's not what I want. What I want is the full text PDF. I click that. And here is my download option. Go ahead and click that. I'm not going to because I don't actually need to download it for myself, but on yours, you will just download that. This is what you're going to be submitting to me. You will also need to read it and analyze it. Please watch the second video on analyzing the paper because reading these papers can be a little bit of a task, but there's some tricks to make it easier. So let's say that I found my ideal article and I downloaded the PDF. what I'm going to do is go back to this quick sheet, okay? And I'm going to click this icon right here. So if you are wondering where to find your citations or you're struggling to make the citations, it already, if you got this a source from the library, already is cited for you. Click citation, and in science, we always use APA format citations. Now, it has automatically given me the reference, and I can just copy it to my clipboard, and I don't need to do anything else. So when I go back to my assignment, it is asking me about the APA citation, and this is where you will copy paste that answer. It's worth 10 points of the assignment. Then all you have to do is tell me what year it was written, and that's worth 10 points. Remember, the year needs to be less than 5 years old. If you choose an article that's older than 5 years, you're going to get reduced points here. Some students choose to do that because they really like their article and their article is really appropriate for their paper, so they're willing to sacrifice some of those points. But I don't suggest it generally. Just tell me who the authors were. And remember, your answers need to be in complete sentences. So don't just copy paste the author from this page. You need to tell me the primary author is Serene Wang. The primary author is usually the first person listed. And then all of their assistants, assuming Serene is a woman, but I don't know, all of their assistants will be listed next. And these may be other scientists in their building, or they may be students. Just depends how much they contributed. Usually they're written in the order of their amount of contribution. So the main author will be the first one listed. When you and your teammates start to make your research paper, you will be organizing all of your APA format citations based on that first name. All right, after that, you're going to tell me what the article was about and why it was written. But the important part is question number 6. This is the methods. So what did the scientists do to conduct their research? You can spend a little bit more time on this one. You see it's worth a few more points. I really want you to dive into how the research was conducted, not necessarily the conclusion, but how it was done. So if they counted the number of moles in a population of moles in Nevada, that's what I want to hear about. If they gave out a survey to 100 patients and asked them about their experience, that's what I want to hear about. And the last one is to upload a PDF copy. So you do need to have a PDF attached. And remember, I do not accept HTML or links. It needs to be the PDF of the original article. If you have any other questions about how to find your article or how to analyze your article, please feel free to reach out to me. And remember that once you're done with this, the next step will unlock, which is writing an outline with your teammates. So you have that to work on next as well. Have a great day.